The brand new PS5 is 200 grams lighter.
Let's go!
Inside this box, we have the brand new 1200 model of the PS5. You might ask, what exactly is this new PS5 all about? I don't know. This was very expensive to get overnighted directly from Australia. The only region as of right now, they have this 1200 model PS5 actually on sale. I'm nervous for a number of reasons.
I mean, I'll tell you, I lifted the box earlier and it did feel a little lighter. Whether that means it's the PS5
Don't
or...
do that to me, Ken. Don't do that to me. That looks like a PS5. All right. Now the moment of truth. Do we have the 1200 model here? So this is the CFI 1202B model. Now this is a PS5 digital edition. However, the important thing to note is the 12 at the beginning of the model number. So the original launch PS5 was the 1000 series. And about a year after that came out, we did a video on the 1100 model, which turned out to be a little controversial. But most importantly, it had a significantly smaller heatsink and a couple of smaller tweaks. Well, Sony are back at it again, and this one is supposedly even lighter. So this is an Australian model, although I very much expect that this will be the exact same PS5 that rolls out to the rest of the world fairly shortly. I'm still just really afraid. I feel like I've been scammed enough times. I'm just always really afraid there are gonna be like bricks inside this. We do have an Australian plug, but this should have a switching power adapter, so I hope that that's fine. And we have ourselves a DualSense. Yeah, this looks the same. Smells like Australia. Dude, that is so light.
I mean, maybe you've just been working out?
My spidey senses are tingling. I think Austin's gonna get in trouble today. I see a copper heat pipe that was definitely not in the old PS5.
Oh man, we're like a minute into the video and Austin's already talking about cooling.
I can see copper! Okay, you know what? We're just not gonna make those jokes today, okay? Today is a serious day full of serious...
It's not an Xbox video.
Right, so this is the original 1000 model. We have the 1100, which was the lighter PS5 that came out last year, and we have the 1200 model. Just to give me a moment, I'm just gonna investigate.
You're really selling your credibility.
I'm
just like, yeah, there's definitely something here. I might be tripping, but there's definitely something here.
Here's the thing. I will tear these apart. We're gonna get into it. But I'm just trying to give a visual inspection to make sure that this new PS5 is different at all whatsoever. So interestingly, at pretty much the exact same time as these 1200 models started showing up specifically on Australian stores, Sony also announced that the PS5 is seeing a price increase almost everywhere in the world. So in Canada, for example, it's $20 more expensive. In Australia, in the UK, and in most of Europe, it's about $50 or the equivalent more expensive. Interestingly, the US is the only market where we have not seen a price increase. But look, I am not one to cast aspersions. I would never, ever do something like that. But if this is, in fact, lighter and cheaper in any way, at the exact same time that they have raised the price of the PS5, that might not be the best look. We're 2 years into a life cycle. Typically the time you start to see price cuts on consoles, not price increases. First up, let's put the 1000 on the scale, and we will see that it weighs 3.817 kilos. Next, we're gonna take the 1100 model, and this one weighs 3.547 kilos. So, about a 300 gram difference. And now, let's take a look at the 1200. Ooh, 3.3, so another 200 grams lighter. Almost half a kilo less than the 1000 model. We're missing something. Is it something important? Subscribe to find out. So, I have now let the 1200 model sit here and warm up and everything, just like I did with the other two to get an accurate measurement. So for context, the 1000 model just sitting on the same screen on Astro's Playroom was pulling about 218 watts. The 1100 model was pulling about 229, and the 1200 model is pulling 201. So, is the new PS5 better? That's a significant difference. I mean, especially coming from the 1100 model, which ran hot and not incredibly power hungry, but certainly more so than the 1000. But it's pretty much level, 200, 201 watts. Is this video now called The New PS5 is Better?
Next thing you know, Austin's gonna, with his ego inflated, be like, I made the PS5 better.
Now let's see if the new PS5 is quieter. So for context, the original 1000 model was about 48 decibels. The new PS5 was about 43, although we do know after opening both of these up that this one has the better fan, so it's a little hard to do an apples to apples comparison. Now let's take a look at the 1200. 45. So I think it's safe to say that all three are ballpark in that same kind of zone. Unless you are really there, I don't think you're gonna notice a difference. I mean, if I'm standing back here, I can't even hear the PS5, right? So all three are very quiet, but technically the 1100 is slightly quieter. Now, get out the thermal camera, shall we? So this year for thermal testing, I'm using a FLIR camera, which is gonna give me slightly different results. And we've already seen that. So with the 1000 model, the hot spot on here, the very hottest spot in the very back where the exhaust comes out was about 53 degrees. On the 1100 model, while overall it was a little bit warmer, there were a couple of hot spots that were a full 63 degrees, so 10 degrees Celsius warmer. That being said, I think that's a little bit of an over-exaggeration because it was just one small spot on the back that was very warm. So let's take a look. The 1200. Well, interestingly, it almost looks like it's like spread out a little bit more now. So the hotspot on this one is about 53 degrees, well, it's 52.5, but I'll round up to 53 degrees Celsius. And so the entire PS5, oh wow, that's really interesting. Basically the entire PS5, top to bottom, is really, really warm, which is a good thing, right? You don't want all the heat coming out this little spot here or this spot over here. So I think there's only really one thing to do now, which is to tear apart all three PS5s and see where that 200 grams of weight is and why it's taking up so much less power. But as of right now, the new PS5 might actually be better. My friends, it is time. We have on the right the 1000, on my left the 1100, and in my center the 1200 model of the PS5 to determine exactly what is going on here. Here's the thing, we've got three PS5s to disassemble. I need some help. Ken, Jimmy, would you guys please come on? Can we bring an OC family reunion? Can we all tear apart these PS5s?
I hate that you're making us a part of what could be a disastrous thing.
Look, Jim and I took the heat last time.
First time?
So of course, if you guys have not already subscribed, Jim is running PS Ready, Kent is running Danky. Let's tear apart some PS5s. Just grab the PS5 logo and just pull it back.
Oh, I already did it. Nice. That's the fastest I've ever done it.
Removing side panels. That looks similar. Let's take a look at the fans. Although we'll probably get a better look once we open it up. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, what is this?
Dude, you can literally put your finger into the PS5 here.
Whoa.
Okay, well.
This one's different even faster than the last one.
I forgot that there's like a little cavity here, but you just have hella cavity.
Yeah, this whole thing is wide open. Immediately there's a very large difference on the inside. So there's nothing, like I can see the heatsink. You can't see anything here. Okay, maybe that's our 200 grams. They just took out even more metal on the inside. Okay, let's flip them over and see what's on the other side. These are all different again. Let's actually really quickly open up to see if the SSDs are any different.
Oh, it's different.
It is very different. So you've got a PCB across the entire length. They have cut the PCB super short and now it's actually metal here.
So I guess maybe that dissipates heat better, no?
It could be, it's a very real potential. All the SSDs will fit exactly the same as before. They've probably, I'm gonna say, cut some costs by not using the PCB, but having that metal might help dissipate a little bit. So this is not a minor update, right? It might not be a massive like overhaul, but you can see almost every part of this PS5 has been touched, has been trimmed, has been tweaked. I'm actually curious if we remove this guy. So it is the same kind of fan. You can see yours is horizontal, mine is vertical, or vice versa. Should we take out the fans and see what the fans look like? Look, we're on a fact-finding mission now to determine what all is different, because it seems like a lot is different here. So you've got the updated fan. Oh wow, so this fan is different than both of yours. So on the 1200, the fan blades do not actually attach to the hub, whereas yours attach to the hub, as do yours.
Yeah, that was the difference at launch.
And I remember when we did our original video last year, the 1000 and the 1100 also had different fans. So there is basically nothing has changed here. They're still shipping different kinds of fans, and I'm just gonna assume it's a pure lottery on which one you actually get. I think it's time to really tear these things apart now. All right, my warranty is officially void. Let's take out the last screw and see what we've got. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's different, it's different, it's different. I've got a heat pipe, you guys don't have a heat pipe. Looking at the 1200 compared to the other two, I actually have a different shaped heatsink here, whereas you guys have the same looking one.
I don't know if it's more by density.
Well, no, but look, I also have an additional heat pipe on the back, which you guys do not have. And it runs, so you see the heat pipe runs through here, and it looks like it runs through to the other side, whereas there's nothing of the sort like this.
There's like a better shield on your SSD slot too.
You're right. I think I actually have a different motherboard.
Are you not pointing out that the motherboard has like 2 inches chopped off the entire top?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, you're totally right. I definitely have a different motherboard then. Whoa, okay, yeah. Look at the top of the heatsink, right? Once we flip these over, we'll have a better view. So you have copper and a full width heatsink right there. Then the 1100 looks like aluminum on the back and removes part of the heatsink. And this one removes all of that shielding, but you see the heat pipes and all the actual fins. So what they've done here is they have completely redone essentially the entire PS5 design. The motherboard is different, the cooling is different. I think we need to disconnect these wires, flip it over, and actually see what the heatsinks look like from the front side, because that's gonna be the thing that's really gonna show the difference. 3, 2, 1, and oh.
Well, mine's a little bit together still.
So obviously the 1000 model has by far the biggest heatsink, right? It's not even close. It is absolutely massive. Looking at the 1100 is certainly smaller, but it looks like the 1200 is even smaller than that. So what we're finding is that this motherboard and heatsink actually weigh less than the difference between the 11 and the 1200, which means that this is even lighter than you would expect, and something in the rest of the PS5 is slightly heavier than before. They have moved around basically every component, including the CMOS battery, which is now completely hidden by the heatsink. Before, you could fairly easily replace it if you needed to, but now you need to completely disassemble your PS5, which is certainly a downside.
You can also see where they added plastic.
You're totally right. That's where the extra weight is. So there's extra support on the actual plastic mold compared to the original models.
To support the extra weight that's on the bottom.
Yes. So what we've got here is a PS5 which is clearly different in a lot of fairly significant ways. My biggest question though is that even though we've looked at a lot of the physical side, why is it pulling so much less power? I mean, 20 watts, that's like a 10% difference. I think we need to call in the cavalry and figure out exactly what makes this 1200 model with its smaller heatsink perform as well as it does, and importantly, take as little power as it does. Maybe it's time for you to subscribe and ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling bell, because I don't think we're done with the new PS5 just yet.